Charlie's Collectible Show. We're here in Georgia for an amazing Lorcana tournament. You know, Charlie's has deep roots in the Lorcana community. It's where Lorcana history is made. It's been won by greats like Zansied. It's where Brent and DeCandio put Diggy Diggy Hole on the map. It's where Lucas Serrano took down his mentor, Kendall Burdett, on the way to the finals. And where just recently we saw Brooms making a splash in the finals, and then that got carried on to Worlds. It's gonna be an amazing day. I can't wait to show you all what's inside.
Yeah, I can't believe we're here. It's happening, and set 9 is officially starting, so let's just go inside.
Let's go take a look. All right.
Liam, we're here. This is the room where it happens. You've been here before. This is my first time, but what can we expect here?
This is the Charlie's. I mean, this place is amazing. Not only do they have a tournament set up, a big snack shack, which we'll show you in a second, but there's all sorts of vendors with goods and products of all kinds here. It's a really fun place to hang out and shop if you're in the area, and it's a great venue to hold a Lorcana tournament in.
Yeah, I think my wallet's a little scared, but luckily we'll be in the booth. They have good taste. Stitch is here, okay? So, gotta love that.
This is the snack shack. This is where players and commentators refuel throughout the day with energy drinks and all sorts of goodies and stuff from overseas. It's kind of cool. And here we go.
And this is where it's crazy, because when you're outside, you're like, oh, it's just a little card shop. But no, this is just a small corner of this giant labyrinthine venue.
It has all the things, all the plushies. There's Bluey. Look at these. Huey, Dewey, like all
Huey,
the Disney
Dewey, and
plushes
Louie, and Uncle Donald.
hanging out together. Look at this, Mickey.
Yeah, I have blinders on. I'm walking past. No, I have to stay in the venue.
It's dangerous for our wallets. This is the start, just the start of the play area. Look, we're gonna have almost 500 players here today. That's a lot of people. So what you're seeing right here is just a bit of where players will be playing today.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is it. No, there's more, which is kind of the theme here today. But wait, there's more. So
it's wave to the broadcast team over there. They're busy.
But speaking of busy.
Speaking of busy, here are the judges getting set up, getting ready.
The best in the business. And more. But wait. They judge you, but in a good way. But we also have more tables. You might say, oh, so that's it, right? No.
No.
There's more.
No. Let's take a look upstairs.
I hope you brought your walking shoes. And shout out to our cameraman.
Whoa.
We made it.
More tables, more judges.
Yeah, the judges, the tables, and even more.
And this is the top area.
And this will be where our featured players are. Shout out to the wonderful crew at 20 Lore for putting all this together. It looks just like this. It looks like this, but they're a little bit more stressed than this.
Katie, what's in here?
Here, this is where the magic is made for the captainating team. We're gonna be in this room here today. So you might remember this stream from the other side, but this is our view. And we're gonna do our best to bring you the greatest stream possible.
It's gonna be amazing. Hang out with us all day today. There's gonna be some amazing Lorcana. There's almost 500 people. It's an incredible event. We can't wait to see you in the booth.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, welcome. Jebas, I am so excited. I don't think I ever casted in person with you.
I don't think so either.
We've only been in the computer, and we are in the computer, but in real life. We are kind of like in the computer from reality into here.
Yeah, now
So,
you're a real person. I'm also real. You know, we're both
not everybody
actually
knows
just
that.
here. It's crazy, right?
It is. It's very weird. They let us out. They said you can come out of your house as a little treat. But what a day. We are wrapping up around 9. This is
Do
so.
we have our incredible bracket?
No, we don't have a bracket, but
We don't have our bracket yet. It's okay, we're working on that.
Listen, guys, we're building the plane offline, and the plane is on fire. I'm just kidding. The plane is cruising. We're cruising in at the top of the sea.
Stuff. We'll switch over to the overhead.
And I am working. I just didn't want people to see the top of my head as I'm like.
I mean, I liked it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, me being
as a
like,
camera.
here's the top of my head.
Yeah.
I brushed my hair today. Maybe not tomorrow though. Tomorrow's a different day, and I'm gonna be sleepy.
I don't think you have to nuke the turn 2 ramp cards. I think you just have to make more. I mean, let's think about, for example, Hey. You know, I'll even bring it up on screen so that we can talk about it. So the Emerald Hey is eating a rock, which is great. Obviously, you see it chomping on a rock. Very good. As a card, if we had more things like this in the game, not necessarily this card specifically, but more things in the game that cared about being like going second, being a little bit behind, so a catch-up type mechanic, then going second would matter a lot less because you could afford to have cards like this in your deck, and you wouldn't always be just down on initiative across the board, right? If we just had more of these type of cards, then you'd be great. Ruby Amethyst with second star, that's cool. I mean, I like second star because it draws 5 cards, and every time I draw 5 cards, I feel great. You know me. I love drawing cards. Yeah, and Georgia, you're just going to play Ruby Amethyst forever, but I love drawing cards. I'm not even going to say as much as the next guy. I love drawing cards more than the next guy, certainly. I will draw cards, draw my whole deck and lose, and still be happy about it because at least I died doing what I loved.
You live fast, or quest fast, die young, I always say.
So you're
or
hard,
banish young, quest fast.
hard ramping it out with the big songs. I mean, that's cool, and that's something that if you can take advantage of the cards, it's great. I think Ruby needs a little bit of help. We lost a lot of the good Ruby payoffs. We do have a top 16 breakdown we're working on right now. We're getting some graphics whipped up here, so we'll be able to have those. Right now, we're going to be watching some Sapphire mirror here, but with a little bit of a different flavor. It's going to be more or less just Emerald versus Amethyst.
Yeah.
So
we'll just, it's true. If you have if you're ever doing math, sometimes if you have 2 of something, it cancels out. In this case, the Sapphire cancels out. So now Sapphire versus Amethyst. Well, actually, no. Sapphire is Emerald versus.
it's just a Sapphire matchup. This is Emerald versus Amethyst. That's just
there we
assume that it's Sapphire, and then we'll just whatever the other color is. That's who's battling. So we do have all the colors, and we have a lot of the information. We're just getting it into some graphics, and then I'll be able to pull them in, and we'll get them on screen.
Yeah, we are. Let's see here. We are doing so well, guys. Now here's the thing. Edit color. Man, this is fun. I'm having fun. I'm editing. I'm talking.
It's nice. It's fun to be able to work with the computer and do stuff while you're doing it.
I know, because if I'm on stream, I'm like,
we have the deck lists. We are working to get them into something that is more visible for you so that we can have them shared. Right now, they're on pieces of paper. Most of them are barely legible, so we will.
They are handwritten by.
They're
the
primarily
people.
handwritten. As soon as we can get them into some sort of a digital format, we will get those made available.
I'm trying to pick colors that best represent the midpoint of 2 colors, which honestly way harder than I thought it'd be. How am I gonna do that?
I mean,
I don't
color theory, I guess.
Yeah, color is law. Shout out. Emerald Sapphire, Amethyst Steel. That feels good, and then Amber Steel. Listen, I'm doing pretty good. No. Okay, we're good.
All right, we're getting some game here. A little bit of game, at least.
Yeah, which is exciting, right? We saw Ivan play, and that man is cool as a cucumber. He was playing from the back foot for a lot of this game, and he is very not too scared here. Oh, okay. Listen, I'll stop data making sounds of me having issues with data label. But man, this is exciting. This is one of my favorite things here is getting into this finals. We're in the top 16, so there are for anybody playing at home right now, we have a total of 8 matches going on. Then we go into 4, then 2, then the finals. So we have 4 rounds left of this tournament, and it is a room. Let's just do a quick recap while they're doing their alters. We started with 450 players, and you might say, "Oh, well, who was there?" Oh, I don't know. Ed, Zach Bibbins, Dale, Diego Saz,
Everybody but DKP, basically.
Yeah, DKP was like, "Well, I'm in Germany this weekend. Sorry, guys."
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was an incredible room of heavy hitters. I mean, Team Malstrom showed up, and I took a picture, and they were all at the top table. Now Humble was not being humble and made it into the top. So we just had these huge conversions, huge players doing huge things, and now we are sitting here moving into the turn 1, which we got a Clarabelle into a Clarabelle, and it sounds like that means that Kolpos is really counting on some shift Clarabelle, which is fantastic against what Ivan plans to do.
And you know what's really crazy too is that there were 450, a little more than 450 certainly at CCS this weekend. Ink was also
huge.
They had what, 256?
Yeah.
They capped out.
Yeah, and very, very, very.
And so they're also full.
Players.
So we have DLC level of players just rumbling across the country right now on just a random weekend.
Yeah, just and going out and saying, yeah, I'll go fly. And by the way, it's not just a random weekend. It's the weekend before PPG Denver, which is going to be a huge tournament.
True.
So people are saying, you know what? My PTO, that goes to you, my lady. I shall give it to you, Lorcana.
Give it up.
Mine.
Time off. Time for battle.
I just call it the LTO, my Lorcana time off. Here we go. we've got that Basil that Liam called it a must include, which I agree with. Is that if you're going into Blurple, you know there's going to be a mirror because guess what? We have not 50%, nearly 50% of the top is sitting at this kind of matchup where you're going to see a very similar matchup. So that Basil is not something that you use on turn 1, not necessarily even turn 2, but my goodness, once you get that Elsa genie out there, suddenly Basil is doing a lot of work.
Yeah, just hitting much better breakpoints, especially in the mirror, is incredible. Like 4 willpower is on like every character. Being able to use any of your 2/4s, your 2/5 to be able to take out a genie clean is insane when you just have to trade your 1-drop for it, assuming your 1-drop even gets banished afterwards.
Yeah, it's incredible value here, and yeah, we're gonna see here that we've got that Clarabelle, which is not the greatest value, and we have something you don't want to see, which is a Dumbo sitting here on turn 4, which we saw that Dumbo can be really, really a spectacularly helpful elephant, but he's made a lot more spectacular if you're playing him on turn 5, 6,
A little
7.
later to be able to take advantage of it right away.
Exactly.
Now, in this matchup, there's less things that get rid of it immediately. You know, in sort of your Blurple mirrors, you're going to run into an Elsa right away. You're going to run into, they just play a genie, and then maybe they're able to challenge it right away, so your Dumbo's less valuable. In this matchup, they don't necessarily have as many like clean answers to your Dumbo right away. We may just use it to draw some cards.
Yeah.
You know, slow our board progression down, but pick up, you still gain the lore, gain an extra card. Like, that's great.
So here we keep chugging along, and Dumbo, as we've seen, I don't think this is a bannable card yet. I think obviously there is ink combos that are much more powerful than each other, but I don't think that necessarily this is something where Dumbo himself is the biggest problem in the world. So I as we've seen, this Dumbo is not going to do a lot of great things. Now we see Pleakley, which I love Pleakley. I think it's so cool to have a body that rams because by the time by this turn whether you need that little baby, that Tipo or that Basil. So if you don't need him, guess what? It's ink. And if you do need him, then, well, maybe it's not time for Pleakley.
You might think that an uncontested Dumbo for several turns sort of seals the deal here, but I can go find the list that we have for Blurple here. For the Bleen. We have a Bend to My Will in the deck, and there's plenty of ways to find it. We have Dig a Little Deeper, Visions of the Future, just having a bunch of cards in hand is not a guaranteed win at all against a deck that can discard their entire hand.
Yeah.
There's a world where you wait until they do something like, oh, let's exert all of our characters, try to draw 5, let them scoop up all these stupid cards. You untap, hit their whole hand, sing Under the Sea, and then boom, they got nothing left. No cards.
Yeah. So it's not over until it is over. And then Bend to My Will is a card. I remember talking to Zan, who is played Bleen this weekend along with Jeremy, who's also in the top 16 with Kolpos here and one other Sapphire Emerald player. And it is important to note that we said, hey, you got Bend to My Will? He said no, because it's a choice. Because Bend to Your Will, we talk about in Lorcana, there's no sideboard, but instead we have ink. It's notably not inkable. So then something like that, it can be a tech card where if you're playing against an aggro deck that just dumped their hand, you're like, yeah, Bend to My Will, and my will is nothing. My will is sad.
Historically, that's why Tipo or, the Quill, things like that were still good because you can get away a little bit more with awkward uninkables that are really expensive.
Some little tech cards. And in this case, that's a very expensive tech card.
So here's my thing about I guarantee you can quote me on this and send me a bill if I'm wrong, but I guarantee there will not be a ban before the next set comes out.
I don't think that
at
today's
61 days away from the next set. When are they even going to do it? There's no time to ban cards, and you're getting 200 more cards. Probably 205 to 206 is what they said, right?
Yeah.
On the Lorecast, that's a lot of cards. to be able to interact with this. What if we get a card that just does puts 3 damage counters in every card?
Yeah. And they guess what? I think they know at Ravensburger what cards are going to be like that. I have a theory that they get word of what cards are going to be revealed.
That's ridiculous. I don't think that's possible.
Big if true. We'll see. That's pretty crazy theories there.
They might know what other cards are coming and know that this is a temporary boon for the Blurple enjoyers. So we're getting the Hades. Like we're in Haymaker territory now for the Sapphire cards, right? We're going to start seeing some of these 7 drops coming down.
Yeah.
Yzma pretty strong at picking up extra cards. You know, Ivan's only got 2 cards in hand.
Yes, and he needs cards.
It's tricky because there's a Clarabelle.
Oh no, you're right. So he needs cards, but he doesn't. Okay, he needs cards, but he also needs.
Want to keep the hand low enough that we're not just like giving him all the juice, but still picking them up. So like if we can pick up 3 cards a turn, ink one of them, you know, play one, keep like 1 or 2 cards, then we're not just feeding cards to the opponent. I am getting some spoiler information a little bit that Ink was won by aggro.
See, guys, remember that time you were
Blurple's
freaking out?
Fine. You know, just play Daisy and Lady, just like we thought might be problematic.
Yeah, guess what? Gotta go fast. Sonic the Hedgehog is here to tell you some meta-analysis, and turns out DeCandio's going, I told you from
If
the
you just
start."
turn your cards sideways every turn, you win a lot more games, I think, than if you don't.
Yeah. Turn your cards sideways early and often.
Yeah, you only have to get to 20. Like, that's not even that many when everything quests for 2.
That's not even that many, guys.
That's 10 quests. That's
Nala's
it.
like,
And then
"I'm
the game is
helping you
over.
guys." I wonder if he did run Nala. I'm assuming yes. That card is quite powerful.
I think Nala is quite good, yeah.
So
I mean, there's worlds where the aggro deck plays. Oh, look at that. Look at that. We get the Enchanted Hades.
now I am very curious. Does anyone in the chat know if at Ink they had a spread where there was some bleen here? We have 4 bleens, which is, as you know, this Sapphire Emerald deck.
I assume that they had none because there was an aggro Amethyst Steel. Or sorry, Amber Steel that just deleted all of them.
They control.
You know, they just rolled through them and they're like, done. Because if you think that Bleen is good against those hyper aggro decks, it's not. It's rough.
It's rough. Well, yeah, right. And I think that's the rock paper scissors of it all.
So it was 3 Amber Steels and 5 Blurples.
Wow.
So that is almost certainly what happened. If there's that much Amber Steel, is they rumbled through everybody with Emerald Sapphire. And, you know, I do think that the Emerald Sapphire, where you're playing just like a 5/5 that quests for 2 basically every turn from turn 3 forever, is really good against the hyper aggro because you just beat everything to death. You can under the sea really early because your characters are just large. You know, I think if you're hitting the turn 4, turn 5 under the sea, like not only are you keeping the board a little under control with just 5/5s because it's hard for them to want to quest into that, but then you under the sea, it's a lot better, right?
Yeah.
If you miss the under the sea or you just don't have enough resources to get the characters on to actually sing it, it can be a little awkward, but
Yeah. So we're watching something here that I think is interesting to note. Enchanted Hades, pretty. But the other thing is I listened to JDZ rant spectacularly. Those people, they casted, those fine folks, those 7 casters up in the East Coast, they casted 10 rounds yesterday. And JDZ was a little deliriously hating on Dumbo last night. And he said, I want Scrooge McDuck because, you know, if I'm in a meta where there are daisies, there are around, I want a Scrooge to just blast Daisy off the playmat and into the Shadow Realm versus having something like a Dumbo, which Dumbo cannot do anything against Daisy. So
it's just a 3/3. Like Dumbo is has real good words on it, right? It says draw a card, it says gain lore. All that stuff is nice. Does nothing against Daisy. Daisy's just gonna roll over you if you're trying to play just a 3/3 evasive as your follow up to like an aggressive start. You're just not going to win those games.
Yeah.
Against aggressive, you know, thing that quests for 2 into another thing that quests for 2 into Lady, a thing that quests for 2. Like you're just gonna lose those games if you're playing. If your answer to that is Dumbo, like that's just not good enough.
Yeah. So you have to adapt to the meta. So, we have to adapt to Blurple, but Blurple also has to adapt to us because everybody who's playing Blurple and PPG Denver, keep in mind, we know you are. We know you're coming. And so everyone's teching for you. So you have to tech against the tech that's going to tech for your tech.
Well, and they also have to tech for the mirror.
Yes.
We look at, we didn't have 100% Blurple, right? Neither did they, but they were, 60%? And this is, a little bit less than 50%. So that's a lot of Blurple. You are expected to run into it a couple of times then, right? That's just real.
Yeah, so we've got that Scrooge McDuck, which even if he's not against old Datey, against Daisy, still a menacing little foe here.
Quest for 2, that's nice. They were able to use it to draw 5 cards this turn.
Yes.
Sing Second Star from the right, and
then it can quest. It can, after all, that duck can do it all. And that's this duck. We also. Scrooge McDuck has 2 powerful. He was in set 7. There is the Scrooge McDuck legendary that I love seeing absolutely just be played for free and then punch the manor.
I mean, I really like that card as a way of playing. You have these really mediocre items that you're running out that are so low tempo, and then you're able to use that to play your Scrooge for free. That let you catch back up, from your items that really didn't do anything. I like cards like that because it allows you to commit to a strategy that generally is a low tempo option. Most items don't add anything to the board. There's no pressure. You're not competing with what your opponent is doing. Now, this is an interesting spot here. We have Clarabelle. Our opponent has, I assume, 30 cards in hand because they just ripped a Second Star. If we have the discard your whole hand, do we use it now? Or do we want to give ourselves a brand new hand before hitting him with a Bend of My Will?
Yeah, and that's a very powerful thing is knowing, how many cards do I want? Now, something that we've learned is that these games are a little faster. So we used to say, make sure you check yourself before you deck yourself. And I don't think that's necessarily an issue right now, but it is something where you have to keep in mind how many cards are you drawing? How many do you want to draw? Am I drawing in a way that's going to benefit my opponent? And in this case, that Clarabelle has been hanging around, which means that, we're going on a Visions quest here. So we've got Clarabelle, Hades. Oh, he says, no, that's for me. You don't get to see. It's private.
Right, I'm just going to start referring to them as Emerald or Amethyst. Those are the only decks that we have. And then if we end up running into the Amber Steel, I'm just going to call it Steel Song because I just want people to be mad. Be mad, stay mad.
No, maybe be a little, don't stay mad. Go maybe look at the fact that it's less than 50%.
It is. That's true.
Less than 50% of the top. And let's see.
Are there Dumbos in any of the other? There might be Dumbos in Amethyst Steel.
All right.
It's possible.
Let me go through here.
So it could be more than 50% Dumbo decks, which is unfortunate if true.
All right. Well, all I need to do is find one Dumbo. So I'll do that. You can.
That's Bell. There's Dumbo. They're right here.
Dang, all right.
Unlucky.
All right. Unlucky.
Unlucky. Okay, so half the world is Dumbos. If you don't have $400, you just can't win.
Hey, okay, guys. All right, I'm gonna get.
Wait a minute. The reality is that by the time that the DLC runs around, the Dumbos are going to be cheaper because there's just going to be more product by then.
That's true. Everybody rejoice.
I know that stores are already getting their second wave, which is a huge portion of.
This Amethyst Steel also has Dumbo, so only one more Amethyst Steel needed to confirm that. I think we got Dumbies
just
everywhere.
Like the Sharks.
We got the Bumbos. All right, so we are still cooking along here. Now, these decks, it's kind of interesting, right? Because they're 2 control decks in a lot of ways. I mean, they're both just trying to say, no, absolutely not, no. Now, we have things that have tempo plays. We just saw John Silver in the hand. Have we seen Under the Sea?
Not yet. I know that there are Under the Seas. There are 3.
Okay, there are in this deck list.
And there are the Heads Held High, so there is the Wombo combo.
Yeah, and to be fair, that's not really a combo. It's just such an expensive combo, and it really is kind of emergency evacuation system. So it sounds like he's been kind of prioritizing drawing cards first, and then he can always switch over to that. Now, mind you, there's going to be a point where he has 40,000 cards in his hand, so it becomes a lot easier to make those decisions when you say, well, I have everything.
Do you have the graphic that you made, or did you just tweet it out?
I haven't done either.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay.
I'll send it to the group chat. The fun
Send it
little,
to send it to
group
send it to
chat
chat.
we're in
I'll
where
see
we
if I
send-
can get it to bring it up.
It's not. I think like poor Wesley's gonna have a heart attack because I'm like that is not the format.
No, that's a great graphic. They don't even get to. He won't even know.
I'm cooking and talking, dude.
doing-
I'm like mother. My mom got home from work and she's making dinner while she's making phone calls about the bills. Is what's happening.
Don't worry about it. He's doing something else. He won't even know what we're doing in here.
He doesn't even know.
He won't even know.
He's probably working on another thing. So let's look at this board state here. We have all the hits here, or a lot of the hits on Ivan's side. We've got this Beefy Duck. This is a 5/5 vanilla card that's not very vanilla because he can do a lot of painful things. He can sing into the unknown. He can go ahead and beat down that cow if he so chooses. And then we have our Elsa, our Royal Guard, and our Belle. So that cow is probably in danger, but I'm not sure that Kolpos cares because he has 5 cards in hand. And Ivan, let's see how many he has. It's tough to say. White sleeves are my greatest enemy. White and black sleeves are the hardest cards to see on stream.
My favorite thing is using sleeves with pictures specifically for this game because we have so many cards like that are just face down.
Yes, and you're just like, I can't
and
read any of that.
it is way easier to keep track of like your ink and your cards in hand, but it is tricky to have that for sure. Because you definitely have to double sleeve because almost every sleeve with pictures they have a little problems with shuffling,
Yeah, that's true. They're not the most easy sleeves to navigate.
Okay, so we had a little bit of an unfortunate demise for our cow here.
Well, she had to go. To be fair, that card
Had
is
to go.
something eventually, because there's a card that we have seen Ivan play to great success, which is Second Star to the Right. And if he wants a Second Star to the Right, he needs to get that cow out of here. Because Second Star to the Right, it is just a simple 10 sing together, which we've got 2 singers that can sing that just right off the bat. No sweat at all. And if we sing that, we get just 5 cards. It's like a little bit of 5 cards. Not a
Yeah,
big
we're
thing.
working on getting the deck lists available. We have them in paper. We need to get them in digital, and then we'll be able to share them out when we can.
But we do know the meta share for anybody listening. We have 7 of Blurple. We have 4 of Sapphire Emerald. We have 3 of Amethyst Steel. And we have 2 of Amber Steel. So don't be sad, guys. We got stuff going on. I will say, though, I've confirmed that all of the Amethyst Steel lists do have Dumbo. So while we have less than 50% of the list being Blurple, I can confirm with a sad, heavy heart that with a total of 10 of the decks containing Dumbo, that means that we have, I didn't do the math right, but it's not good. It's way more than 50%. By way more, I mean 63% have Dumbo. Which, the Mumbos are soaring to new prices here. So we're going to keep clicking along here. Kolpos is not out, but it is definitely a hard one to go. He was on, this is around top 16. He had the lower seed, so he did have to be on the draw here. So it's important to note that it's not over. My goodness, is that his ink? Does he have 40,000 ink?
Yes.
Okay, so he can do anything he wants.
We just got our Clarabelle that was shifted into the unknown.
Oh, okay.
And there's been some Hades action going on, a little bit of ramp.
So they've both been ramping each other. Like it's a joint ramping.
There's been some ramping, unintentional ramping going on here a little bit.
My goodness. So yeah, I mean the bad news, good news, right? Is because on these decks they have such a heavy top end. Both of them have very punishing things. We see Basil here who wants to do discard. We see John Silver who's saying, by the way, don't come over here. You got to sing or you got to challenge, or rather do come over here. Don't quest. Come over here and fight me. John Silver is a very exciting card that came back. It was set 1 legendary. Didn't see a lot of play for a while, and then is slamming back in with his cyborg arm to say, hey, I'm here, and I am now a meta relevant card again. So we're cruising along, but this is kind of a longer match here. Now I don't believe the top 16 is going to be timed. It is something where we're not in a rush. We got to see how this plays out. These players are here for $25,000, which is what some might call a lot of money. So these players are willing to just kind of sit, play it out, and see where they end up. So the prize pool here, just for people wondering, so everybody here playing is going to get $375, which is more than that they paid. These players paid $100 to be here, and they're going to walk out with $375. But if they can make it past this, Fifth through eighth seed gets $1,000. Third and fourth gets $2,000. Second place gets $3,500. And first place, they're going to get $7,000. So to get an invite, you do need to get fifth through eighth place invite to what? And that is the Charlie's Collectible Show Invitational. And that is coming up after there's going to be 4 qualifiers, and then there'll be the Invitational in 2026.
That'll be really cool.
I'm very excited.
I don't know if I'll be able to. I don't know if I'll be invited to that, if I'm honest.
That's good to say.
Like at least to play, maybe to
okay.
cast.
Okay, like I'm a little worried after what I said.
Yeah, I can't believe that you're not qualifying for the DeCandio Classic Invitational. That's just crazy.
Okay, good. SirAshtown made a better graphic here.
Oh, is there another?
Well,
Is there
he
a
did the
different
top
graphic?
16. It's more. This might not actually be.
That's just who's in the top 16.
Yeah.
I got your graph. It's fine.
I got your graphic right here.
Oh, I have it. It's up.
I got your graph.
I can hear. I'll even look at this graph. I'm gonna get this up here, and then watch. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm scared. I mean, don't
Can
put it
actually
over
go
this giant board state. It's time for the heads held high under the seat combo. If I've ever seen a board
Okay,
that
you
says,
ready? This
yes.
is gonna be cool. Maybe we'll get the graphic. Boom.
"Oh, I quite like that. That is so." This is honestly the best in the business, folks.
We'll get that for right now.
folks.
For now, we can. I can turn it on and off. I got the button. I can turn it off. I don't know if I can do it live, but good enough for government work.
Yeah. Now, this is something to note that there is a combo of cards here. Heads held high. We see that. Do we see under the sea? Because we got to get rid of this board state. We have to. Now, Heads Held High is a sing together song. Heads Held High will go ahead and does do one thing that you don't know because it doesn't matter. And the other thing it does, you can remove damage, which is good, but not the thing that you want here. You want to reduce the character's cost or strength by 3. Then you say, oh, what else do we have? Under the sea. But I don't see it in the hand. I think I see thank you.
Like we have a dig maybe, so we could look for it. But we need to do this now.
We need to dig deeply.
We don't have a lot of time for not doing it right this second.
We got to dig a little quicker to find what you need. So all that to say, it is now or quite literally never. So sorry, I'm typing. Is it time for a Pachyderm and panic? But I'm feeling pretty good about that actually.
Pachyderm madness.
Pachyderm panic. That's better. It's better. Okay.
Better alliteration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what needs to happen this turn with the dig that we have is we need to have both the head held high as well as under the sea.
Yes.
And then ideally, we also need to make them discard their whole hand. That would be the only
That would be the 1, 2, 3
clean way to take all of these problems and make them go away.
Now, that is expensive. Let's go ahead and talk about the cost of that. We have a Heads Held High, which is 6. We have Under the Sea, which is 7 or 8.
Under the sea is 8.
8, and that's 8. And then we have one last is Bend in My Will, which is 7. But you might notice over here on Kolpos' side is half his deck is ink right now.
We have a lot of ink.
We have a lot of ink. Now, we need the answer. So
we're leaning a little far over for me to count all the ink.
Yeah.
Ideally, we would want 15. 15 ink would be a good number. We've got, what, 5, 10, 13 maybe? Which is not quite as much as I would like. So Under the Sea, because we do have some characters that can sing, right? We have, we can either do, okay, so we can make this work actually, because we can play the head held high for 6 and then sing the other one. No, we can only really sing one, so we're gonna have to sing both of those. It's tricky. We needed like one more character, like a Tipo or something, would have made this a lot easier. Like that's why we're thinking it is exactly dig or head held high. I don't think that we have the ability to do both. And since there's only really one turn left of this game, I mean, it's either we hit it now or the game is just over. Yeah. I think this is the turn. You know, a lot of people talk about slow play and things like that. Like, I think it is okay to be deliberate in your play on specific turns. Like, this is a difficult turn. Now is the time to use your,
John Silver?
Think about it a little bit more and then deal with it later, right?
Yeah, here's the thing he's doing. He said, I thought about it, Jebas. I'm going to do something completely. I'm going to zag.
Yeah, I thought about all the things that we could do, and now I'm going to execute, here's the thing, you have to challenge back into my stuff. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, we're gonna lose the Hades probably, but
Wow.
we're gonna challenge a bunch.
And
You
then
have
you're-
Reckless. The most that you can quest for is 3 if they shift Elsa.
And that's really what makes the difference between a good player and like a great player is you will see the best player in the world, and notably, one of the best players in the world is DKB, and by the best player in the world, I mean he won Worlds.
It's all right. You know,
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's like D
I
plus
casted a
probably.
match where that wasn't timed, and he took a spectacularly long time. And you might say, "Oh, does that mean he's not good?" No, obviously he's very good. But it's just
Yeah.
because if you're doing the Doctor Strange thing. If you guys have watched a Disney property, Marvel, Avengers, there's a moment where he went through every permutation of what can happen, and that's really what these players are doing. Is if I do this, will this happen? If I do this, will this happen? And you know you only have so many resources. Yeah, it's easy to hit that big red emergency eject button, but it's expensive, and you usually can only press it once, maybe 2 if you're extremely lucky. And he has 2 cards in hand, so he's not extremely lucky right now. So if you have a way to win without pressing the emergency eject button, you're going to pick that way. And now, is it enough? Because now Ivan is sitting very prettily at a 17 lead. We're still in game 1, and he's just kind of seeing what he can do without having to fire off all his cool cannons.
One of the things that's interesting here too is if Emerald has the ability to take the board over at any point, like if there's any point that we clean up the board, empty out the hand, it does not take that long to quest out for 2/2/2 and win the game. You know, every character in the deck basically quests for 2. They're all 5/5s for the most part. Hades being a 3/6, and they all jam for 2. So we have several characters in play, and they're all going very quickly with that. The Scrooge cannot quest this turn. It is Reckless from the John Silver that got played last turn. So that was one of the reasons that they're not just done here. So the Scrooge has Reckless from the second John Silver that got played. Yeah, there's no marker, just has the Reckless from it. Yeah. Yep, Scrooge had Reckless.
He was feeling a little reckless.
A little reckless,
But
you know.
if you have reckless, just so you guys know, you can sing. You can use your ability. So reckless is something you have to kind of go around. Yes, somebody just pointed out. Is that Saucekay? No, it can't be. That'd be so funny if Saucekay's out there like
Saucekay.
giving me feedback.
I mean, I have done that before where I'm in the chat and like also being the one commentating and like chatting as well.
Chatting
but,
against you, like, oh, these casters. You're like,
yeah,
anyways.
I can't believe that they're like the way that they are.
All right, we're digging, and we found another John Silver.
One of the reasons that there's no marker for it is technically markers are notes, and they're not necessarily something that you should be able to do. They're usually allowed just because it is helpful for coverage, but they are not necessary as far as the game is actually concerned. They do help on coverage a little bit, though, so that's certainly true.
Yeah, it's tricky, right? Because
is.
I mean, when we're doing this, it's kind of like football. If they like one time, oh my gosh, first time I went to a football game, I'm like, oh my gosh, those lines they put on that are so spectacular and helpful. Like I knew, like obviously, like the yellow one, the first down line is not there, but like they make the grid lines look better. They do all that.
Yeah, they sauce it all up so it's better for watching.
Yeah, and then
but
you get
like
to a
none of
football
that is
game.
real.
Yeah,
you know, that's all imaginary just for coverage.
And my brain couldn't do that. My brain can't synthesize like that. And I was like, oh, I kind of like that. So, yeah, that is a nice thing. If you guys go into a football game, yeah, they don't have those graphics. But here we go.
I tried to block the ads as long as I could. I ran out of snoozes. This game has gone on for like 30 minutes already.
I know, because usually we try to do it after game 1.
I did the best that I could. If they would have finished up the game, I would have definitely ran them and it would have delayed it. But
that's always the worst. Yeah. Well, here, yeah, it's tricky, right? Because you do have to. If you guys don't know, there's a quick little meta breakdown of Twitch. Twitch, you do have to run a ad. You're allowed to snooze it. You can only snooze it for so long. So sometimes it's difficult to time it. It is not impossible, but it is difficult. But here we go. We see Kolpos turned a corner last turn, was able to do some challenging, but this time he has to come up with another answer. And I don't think he dug a little deep. I don't think he found in what he needed, which would be Under the Sea. He's had a heads held high for a few turns, but he's just not finding Under the Sea, which probably feels really bad. I'm trying to see his deck list of how many he runs. I imagine you'd want 4 since it's such a critical thing, but it's expensive. Let's see. Well, I'll keep kind of digging here while we're talking about this.
yes, it should be 5. They'll get that corrected.
Santiago. Either way. Oh, here we go. As far as how many, he runs 3 Under the Seas and 1 Bend to My Will. Interesting stuff here. So he had 1 Dig a Little Deeper. He found that, but he's like, you know what? I wish this Dig a Little Deeper was right now. Under the Sea.
I would imagine, yeah. Another John Silver.
Now, I do have coming in, if you guys are a big fan of watching Kolpos' deck and you're like, I wish I could see that deck win. Shout out to Jeremy Bertarioni, who is a podcast host with Zan Syed, who Zan also ran this list. And so Jeremy, Zan, both were on the same list. And Jeremy just won his top 16 spot to go into top 8. So shout out to, oh, did I just say Under the Sea? Has he been saving it?
He has an Under the Sea, but all the characters have been large on the other side,
But
and
doesn't
there's
have
no
head
head held high.
Oh, I thought he had that. Did he ink it? He would.
It was a dig.
Oh, I
so
thought
we're missing one half of the
of the combo, which is why combos are so stressful because we don't have. And you might hear people say, "Do you have a tutor?" Tutors in Magic Term where you get to go search for a specific thing. Currently, Disney Lorcana, there's really hasn't been a lot of cards.
There's like 3, and most of them are not super.
Yeah, it's
great.
like you can go find a Madrigal, which, as you guys know,
or you put them on top. Like,
yeah, you get.
Not.
So the problem is that you have to be so careful, and Kolpos has been very, very, very conservative with his resources from not trying to dig. But in this case, I don't know what the second card is, but he's saying, is there any way I can do this? And the answer is, not with the resources you currently have. Is that visions? If it's visions, he's got a vision.
Yeah, we had to have the Yzma be reckless, otherwise, it's just over, right? Because it quests for 2. So, the Yzma in this case is reckless, likely going to challenge into the Hades, so the different damage won't actually matter. The Hades, as a note, should have 5 because it did challenge into Scrooge. Likely they were just marking the 3 on the Scrooge and just had 3 on the dice. It's not that big of a deal, but if it comes up, then we'll make sure that it's corrected.
Yeah, so we're still cruising along here. Well, once again,
I don't believe that the Yzma can draw any cards. I think they have like 5 cards in hand, so.
Yeah, it's kind of, she's just there because she's good to draw cards, but like you said, it's only to draw until you have up until 3. Blurple, it's kind of an emergency escape hatch, right? Because it's, oh, here we go. So here.
Spell to move the damage.
Yeah. So he goes ahead and moves it to
Okay.
John Silver and then challenges in. And Kolpos, you can tell, knows what's happening because he didn't even put the dice on John Silver because he's like, don't worry, I know he's gone. And there we go. We got the board wipe, which is going to be, let's see how much ink he has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 ink. So that is enough to Under the Sea. And so he's got to top deck it. He has to top it. That's Tipo.
Is that a Tipo?
That's Tipo. Are you kidding? So Vision, it's time. So
Do we have enough with Visions
13.
too?
We're at 13, right? If he 13 ink minus 15 minus, he's counting. 5, 6, 7.
I think there was another
9,
vision in the
10,
pile.
11, 12, 13. Now he has 13. We know he needs a total of 6 plus 7 is 13. So he needs to use all the ink he has. He would have to have heads held high right now. And I don't think that was what that was. It wasn't. Bobby
could work if we could ink and then do it.
Oh my goodness. I think that's a sale.
Sail.
It's now we're out of the territory. He can't do both now. Are you serious? That's so sad. 6 plus 8. Yeah, good job, guys. 7 plus 8. 7 plus 6 is very different than 6 plus 8. Some might call that 14. And he has what some might call far less than that. Now, he does have a you're welcome, but unfortunately at 18, he has to do an insane amount of work. And I don't see him being able to do that right now. But Kolpos is better at this deck than I am, and he says yes.
It is also very possible that they had only 1 left in the deck, and that maybe they inked one with a Tipo or something earlier. Because realistically, like we churned through a lot of the deck, but cards like that are pretty mediocre early on, and you need to make sure that you are still able to participate in the game. So a lot of times, being uninkable, anytime that you can take an opportunity to utilize it, you do. So
yeah, it's very tricky, right? I mean, you can't have everything. You have to. It's tricky because we know how important the heads held high Under the Sea combo is. And looking at his deck list, we know we have 3 Under the Sea, and then as far as how many heads held high, it's 2. So that's a really tricky combo, and it's tricky because you don't want to use your early hand. but at the same time, you know for a fact you're going to need those cards. So it's just very tricky. You want to build yourself up because
Yeah.
you don't win the game. You don't get to 20 lore by doing heads held high and under the sea. You just don't lose the game. So it's like, when do you fire that special one and done cannon? Because you can at most do that combo twice. And if you do that combo twice, it's extremely expensive. It means that you had those cards in your hand and you were prioritizing getting those cards over another card. So it's an emergency eject button that Kolpos knows he can't be too panicky on, I think.
Yeah, and the full combo, you don't have that many opportunities to use it. You know, if you run out the head held high, the under the sea together, clean up the board, and then they just immediately deploy 3 more threats, like,
Yep, and then it's over.
that's not helpful. You know, then we're back to square one. So you really, there's a lot of pieces that you have to navigate, and when the deck is only playing like 1 Bend to My Will, and you know, it's a 3 Under the Seas, like, it's has these resources to be able to clean everything up, but you need a lot of it all at the same time sometimes, and that can be really tricky.
Now, of the matches, of the 8, we have 6 that are complete. So if you guys are playing at home, we have King Cole, which I wrote his deck list is Amethyst Cole, which I don't think that's a thing, but I think that means he's on Amethyst Steel. So we have an Amethyst Steel in the top 8. We have Humble on Blurple. We have Thiago, who's on Amethyst Steel. We have Mitchell, who's on Amber Steel. And we have Jeremy Bertroni, who is on Sapphire, Emerald Sapphire. We have Dylan Brown, who is on Blurple. And that means, hey guys, we only have 2 Blurple so far. So now it's up to you, Kolpos, to stop another. And the other matchup is going to be Chad versus Mark Elgo, and that is Chad, who's sitting on a Amber Steel, versus Mark, who is on Emerald Sapphire, which I would say Amber Steel is greatly favored in that matchup. Well, not greatly, but pretty.
Yeah,
Most of the time.
I would agree with that.
Assuming
yeah.
you don't get Under the Sea until Oblivion, which you can be Under the Sea pretty early with Sing Together. That's the power of Sing Together. It is open list. The lists are not
Digitized just yet.
but they get to look at it and sit, and we get to watch them look, which is kind of fun. It's kind of like watching somebody look at a recipe on the Great British Bake Off. You're like, today we're making Amethyst Steel. Here is the list. Mitchell has never made that before. Anyone else watch that? I like to watch that show.
I do like to watch that show.
It makes me feel so calm. I'm like, you know what? Life's not so bad if I have this. So we know in the top 8 we have at least 1 Emerald Sapphire. We know we have 2 Blurple, 2 Amethyst Amethyst Steel, 1 Amber Steel, and now it's coming down to, will we have 1 more Blurple? So the most we can have is 3 Blurple. So we're still staying under 50%. How exciting is that?
That's cool. I mean,
Big if you are really mad about the fact that deck exists. But we're going into game 2. Ivan has showed that he has a lot of top-end answers. He can't really go wide like a deck normally can, but he can. We saw him go wide pretty firmly and pretty often with his deck. So now Kolpos is going to be on the play. He was on the draw, and he did a pretty good show out for being on the draw. But yeah. So Kolpos went on a bio break, as somebody pointed out. And honestly, it's Sarek. Sarek, are you casting right now and talking in this chat? Because I think he's. And are you bilingualing? You're saying, listen, I'm a hit both chats. It's possible, because I'm pretty sure Sarek, shout out for him doing the multi-language cast in Espanol. I believe. Sarek, correct me if I'm wrong, that you're not doing Espanol, or maybe you're just looking at this and you're just typing. And you want to do some trash talk in 2 languages, which honestly, big flex. If you're like, I'm going to do a little bit of silliness in 2 languages and 2 chats, I would like that quite a lot. So let's see here. We do have Kolpos doing a little restroom break, and the bathrooms at Charlie's is a little bit away. We have our judges here. Shout out Googly Glimmers behind. He'll put, whether you do well or bad, he might put 2 googly eyes on your forehead and say you've been googly glimmered, and it feels bad because he's a judge and you can't do anything. It's illegal to say anything mean about a judge. So we're just kind of waiting here for this next round to start. And yeah, we're vibing. As far as vibing goes as well, I'm working on, if you guys did not hear, in the corner over there, it's kind of like the mid, it's not really the corner so much as like the right-hand lower right hand mid side. We had 7 Amethyst Sapphire. We had 4 Emerald Sapphire. We had 3 Amethyst Steel, and we had 2 Amber Steel. There were 10 decks that contained Dumbo, 8th wonder of the universe. So, is it time to Pachyderm Panic? I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get the actual an actual bracket for us with the colors here.
Yeah, which would be cool. Now we do know in the top, we have so far 3 Blurples in the top 8. We have 2 Amethyst Steels, and we have 1 Emerald Sapphire, and we have 1 other Amber Steel. In the final matches, we have an Amethyst Steel versus an Emerald Sapphire. And then we also have this match that you are watching right now in front of your peepers, and that is Emerald Sapphire versus Amethyst Sapphire. So there can be up to 1 more Blurple in the top, which could mean you would have... Oh, no, sorry, there's only 2 Blurples in the top right now. So we could have up to 3 Blurples, but we could have only 2, which would be devastating to Blurple supporters everywhere. But we also could have two Emerald Sapphires, and then we could have Emerald... There's so many possibilities. Doomsdayers, don't doomsday. Don't do it. Because it's not so bad. It's not so bad at all.
Are these? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jebas is looking at my death note, and he's panicking because he's like, "Is that my name?" And I'm like, "No."
Well, I don't have numbers on mine, so it's a little awkward.
Yeah. Well, sometimes. Who's Tanwin? Who's that? Oh, it's you're adding that's their government name.
Yeah, these are their government names, unfortunately.
Yeah, shout out to players. I think Ravensburger Playhub might. It probably won't because to be fair, you put your cool name. I'm Katie Lorekeepers in, and I don't know how to tell you guys that. That's not on my driver's license.
It's okay. My name in that is just Jebas. I don't even care. They can't stop me.
Now we have Sarek PR saying our personal record or Puerto Rico says Jebas only plays Turn 'em Sideways decks. How do you feel about that?
Excuse you, Sarek. My Turn 'em Sideways decks also draw cards.
Sorry, Coach. He does 2 things. This man is a man of 2 talents.
I do play Turn 'em Sideways decks, to be fair. That's not inaccurate. But that's only when they're the best deck, and then they're bad in the main event, and then I crush it in side events. It's fine.
But shout out to Sherrick. I got to celebrate his birthday. It was at Gen Con. He's like, "Yeah, I'm going back to my hotel. It's my birthday." We're like, "Just your birthday? We got to take you to go see the lanterns, my guy." And we took him to go see the glowing lanterns gleam. And by that, I mean Buffalo Wild Wings. So, what does everyone want to do on their birthday? Have some mott sticks with the pals. So here we go. John Silver going to Thinkwell into Bobby.
What is Amethyst Coal? That's not a real deck.
I know. Amethyst Coal is
Get
Amethyst
out of
Steel.
here. Is that Blurple?
It's Amethyst Steel.
Okay.
His name is King Cole, and I was talking.
All right. That's not helpful.
All right. We're going to choose and discard a card, and we are choosing to do Tipo because we're going to favor Sail the Azurite Sea in this matchup. He knows that if he does Sail, he gets to draw a card versus Tipo. You do not get to draw a card. And he says, listen, you're going to be doing Blurple stuff over there. I'm not too afraid. I'll take a few turns to develop my hand and make it look exactly how I need it to. In the meantime, you do what you're going to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do is try to get the perfect card. Oh, Chad, I can't write in my notebook. He has it. But Chad, who is, I believe, Amethyst Steel. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Chad just won his match. So
Yeah.
guys, gals, pals, Chad just said, guess what? 50% of the top, 100% of the Amethyst Steel in the top 8 or 16 converted to top 8. How does it feel? Really good. That's exactly what you want to
Oh, look
hear.
at this bracket. I'm so good at this.
Oh man, I wish my name was Zach B. Burple.
Right?
Hi, I'm Zach B. Burple.
Well, I didn't know if I could
I
put
know.
the symbols in there, so this is what
No,
we
this
get.
is better. It's better. But honestly, Zach B. Burple.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do for now. I know this is the
People see
worst.
this? Or no, we can see it.
They can't see it yet.
Okay, good.
Okay, so who won already from your?
It's right here. I already put it.
That's too much.
I
work
know.
For me.
So people who won is in the first bracket we have Mitchell. So Mitchell, he won.
This is not helpful for me.
All right.
This
All right.
doesn't
All
work.
right. I can't see anything. I'm blind. Okay, so we got Royal Card here.
I don't know how to make this do the next bracket.
Man,
I'll figure this
I'm
out.
so proud of you,
I'll
Chad.
I'll figure it out. It's okay.
Wait, no, Mitchell lost. Wait, no, Chad. No, Chad won. Chad is Amethyst. Oh my goodness, guys. I need to tell you this. If you were watching a match and also getting excited about the meta, you might say things that people are going, are you okay? And the answer is no. I'm so excited about what's happening right now.
I need to make an account real quick.
I hope DeCandio's watching right now. And honestly, I say that every time I'm casting and watching Lorcanas. I hope DeCandio's watching from wherever he is, which I imagine is some kind of like castle made of cards. And yeah, he says his DeCandio classic is hopefully being a classic. Hey, did you remember aggro? And the answer is you can't forget aggro, guys. It's still here. It never went anywhere. I'm still standing. So this match might be a long one, guys. So I would go ahead and get a little comfy because this game is game 2. All the other 8 matches are complete, so 7 matches are done. This is one that is outstanding, and Kolpos needs to do what he can to stay in this game. He has to use all his resources very, very well. He cannot afford a single misstep in this matchup, so he needs to do what he can to keep up with what Ivan will be throwing at him. And Ivan has shown he is ice cold. He's got ice in his veins, and he has answers for every question. But we are going to go ahead, sail ink 2 cards, play Pleasley turn that Bobby, who just quested for 1 before he departed into the inkwell. And just like that, Kolpos has 6 ink. And Ivan's like, well, I have 3, so judge. But that's unfortunately how the game works. You're allowed to do things that the card says. In this case, he did sail. He inked for sail, inked for turn, and inked with Pleakley. And with that, now Ivan needs to keep up. And so as a result, he goes ahead and plays a Tipo, inks Bell for turn, and I believe now he's deciding what he wants to ink with that Tipo. Now, it is a May. You do not have to ink with Tipo. They can't force you to do it, even if someone tells you they have to. But we then move on to... It doesn't look like he's inking with it. Or he's thinking. You must think before you ink. That's something they say all the time.
Definitely a better bracket that I could have had for this, but this is the one that I have, so.
Yeah. And the good news is chat's covered right now, so if you guys are really mad,
Yeah, I don't care. Call your senator if you hate it.
don't do that because there's probably bigger pressing issues. I don't know what's going on in the news. I haven't watched news in a while because I'm busy moving. But I imagine something's going on in the news more important than I cannot see. Katie can't see chat. But here we go.
Humble's Corey, right?
Yep, Corey. Well, yes. Yeah, Corey is humble. And he's humble. He's not humble. That's like a little joke.
I mean, yeah, right.
But here we go. We got a double Tipo, which is interesting, right? I don't know if he would have done double Tipo if he wasn't feeling the Kolpos pressure. He's like, I don't know what you're up to, Kolpos, but you're scaring me so bad. I think we see, Kolpos, please. Is that head solid higher, dig a little deeper, or vision? I don't know. I see Clarabelle. I think that's develop your brain. Oh my goodness, I can't. I feel like every time I get close to seeing it, he moves it a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
He's saying like, don't. I don't want you to know. I don't want him to know. I don't want anyone to know. In fact, maybe I don't know. But either way, we got another Tipo. We got a Tripo here on the board, but one is in the inkwell. And he's going to go ahead, pass his turn with 3 cards in hand. And did he not play a card that turn? No. Wait. No. Right. No. That can't be right. That can't. Chat, I can't see what you're saying. I feel disoriented because I'm pretty sure.
I'll move it over here. It's fine.
Well, yeah, he just drew and passed. Yeah, the one who won. The one who, that's quite fun. I like that. The one who won, that is really fun. But that is interesting. Kolpos had a spectacular start of just going resources, resources, resources. And he's like, I need answers. My goodness. Yeah, he knows exactly what Kolpos is doing. He's ramping to Clarabelle. Such a good point because he knows Ivan. So there's 2 end games here, right? We have Kolpos who wants to get as much ink and cards he wants to get as much ink as possible, and he wants to get answers. He wants to draw cards because he wants to get to the point where he can do Head Held High and Hades and John Silver's and Under the Sea. He can only draw cards a few ways, but one of the fun ways to do it is to ramp to the moon to play that Clarabelle he has in his hand. In the meantime, he's going to go ahead and take that Pleakley to go over to Tipo. And then he passes again. Jebas, I know you're doing data, but what is happening? He's just not playing.
What he's looking to do is set up a turn. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
we're just sort of ramping. The clock is not that fast out of these decks. You don't necessarily need to be doing much more than just putting extra ink into the inkwell. Like, most of the characters don't really do that much in this matchup anyway.
My goodness.
And we're just leading into a world where now we can... Look, the board is clear. We bounce it with Basil. Like, if our hand is just all 7 drops, we just ink until we get to 7, and then that's it. And then we're in a good spot. So I suspect that is what we are looking at doing here, if I had to take a guess.
My goodness. And it's honestly kind of crazy because we talk about, is he about to get Hades? Is Hades? That's one of my favorite plays in all of Disney Lorcana is when you get Maleficent Dragon and then they play Maleficent Dragon and you play Hades. But no, we're gonna go ahead. To be fair, he was playing around that Hades, if we're gonna be honest. He was like, I don't want to put out my one Clarabelle, and then you Hades me. So he played Hades. He's like, well, you got 2 Hades? That'd be pretty nuts.
I don't know if this is accurate for what
The answer is he doesn't have 2 Hades. He goes ahead and puts down a Dumbo. So both these players are kind of doing crazy things. Ivan might very well know that he might not know. I think he'd want to draw cards. I don't think Ivan is going to sacrifice winning just so he doesn't draw a card. But now that Clarabelle's out, she's going to do absolutely nothing. He's been trying so hard to get to this Clarabelle, and now there's 1 card in Ivan's hand. So now Kolpos is going, okay, well, he has a Hades, so he has to decide, am I going to Hades? He's going to head sell high. Is he going to do? No, he would not. He wouldn't. Right now?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Gets rid of 2 characters.
It's true, and he has 1 card in hand. I mean, Blurple, if you don't draw cards, this is not a top deck. It can, because you could technically get something like a Finders Keepers that can maybe get you 3 cards and keep you in the game. I don't think that he runs a Finders Keepers. That's really... Oh, he got an Elsa. Hypnotic Strength, which is going to make Elsa a 4/5, and...
That's not quite enough.
Is not. So that was...
And they just send it back. So, I mean, now in the driver's seat, Emerald just has... Because we under the seat there, not only did we take care of the Hades, so it stops the questing pressure, but it also makes it so that they really don't get to draw any cards with Dumbo. So now we're just going to pick up, like, answer 1 thing a turn. And that's really what you want to be doing out of the Emerald deck, is get him in a position where we don't need to do that many things per turn, because there's just better haymakers out of the Emerald Sapphire list than there are going to be in the Amethyst. There's a lot more mid-rangey stuff out of the Amethyst. Yeah, Basil's insane here, because now we're going to make them discard cards going forward.
Is when we have Zuokan said the play level is pretty insane here, but you can't tell what because of what they're doing versus not doing versus doing. And that's really something that's really hard to understand about Disney or these trading card games is patience is so important. That's why aggro decks can be tricky decks, because you're like, oh, you go fast. Yes, but you need to know when to go fast and when to stop going fast. You need to know when that Tiana needs to be sideways, when that Tiana needs to stay absolutely perfectly upright with the best posture in the world. And similar to this, you need to be Kolpos, who is not sweating too hard for somebody that didn't do anything for many turns. Now, we do have a Genie on board. We have a Dumbo, and Ivan is saying, you see that? You see that? I have 2 cards. That's a legal amount to shuffle. You can shuffle with 2 cards, and he's doing that. He's doing a 2-card shuffle. And that's all he needs to say in this game. He does ink that Elsa, because now we have a discard on board. Whenever this character quest, chosen component chooses and discards a card at random. So here we go. He says, you know what randomized 1 is? It's right now. So that is so tricky, because you have to ink it, play it, or know that it's gone forever. And that's kind of what's going on here. We see Hades come down, get rid of that Dumbo, send him into the Inkwell. So now he even has a lot of ink, not a lot of cards. And suddenly, just like that, Kolpos went from being really not doing much to doing everything. And luckily, Ivan goes ahead, top decks a Dumbo. So I said Dumbo is not the most powerful card, but suddenly he feels really good, because that Genie can go ahead, exert. We go ahead, we get a Genie into another Genie, and we suddenly have 1 more card. Now, that being said, 1 card is pretty bad. It sounds like it's not inkable because he didn't ink it, and we're about to pass into a card that can absolutely quest, discard it. And he's saying, how much ink do you have? And the answer is 5 plus 5, so 10 ink. So we are about to see that whatever this card is, I'm going to guess it's not inkable. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah.
It is.
It is
that
not
makes sense?
Yeah, he couldn't do anything with it except put it aside for disposal later. And now we get to see, what is Kolpos going to do? What kind of punishing magic will he do? And the answer is Under the Sea again. Oh my goodness. So Under the Sea it takes everyone to the bottom of the deck except Dumbo. But honestly, Dumbo by himself, not so scary. He's just a baby elephant. And honestly, I think I could pick him up. He weighs 300 pounds, but I think he looks light.
Dumbo is very, very powerful, obviously.
But by himself, a little less scary.
I mean, we're going to be picking up 1 card a turn. I think we can outquest them.
What if we get?
And if you don't use those cards, like again, just like we saw there, if they're stuck in hand, Basil's just going to get rid of them.
I know. So that's why Dumbo good. Dumbo good if he is the gasoline to an engine, but he is not necessarily going to win you the game just hanging out there. But he will draw 1 card here. And the answer is... Okay, we're going to go ahead and insert 4 for a giant spectral parrot. We're going to pay 5 for a second. We got a squawk of parrots here. And Kolpos is now going to not be able to discard anything because he played everything he had. So that probably feels good for Ivan, who's had to discard his last single card hands. But Kolpos has a much healthier hand size and much more ink. So Basil, like a bigger Stockman said, or Baxter Stockman says, really good when he sticks, 100%. So if you let him hang out, if you don't instantly on-site Hades him, he will be great. Now, I will say with Hades in the meta, he can be scary, especially if you have Hades paired with the Madam Elephant that could Hades back into your hand and recur him. We don't have a lot of bounce, but we do have one bounce left, which is why you will see Madam Elephant in this meta. However, here we go. You're welcome. But you get a card, but it might be way too late. Because now he's going to be able to draw 2 cards, I believe, off of You're Welcome.
That would make sense.
Okay. I think that's an approval, I think.
Because it does fully have to resolve before the Iago Vanish triggers. So if we do hit an Iago, they will draw the cards.
Decandio Classic winner says, always lurking, but this game is slow. I will say they are controlling each other. They are saying, listen, I'll control you, you control me, let's control each other. It's a Ratatouille situation where the control decks they're on each other's head. Now we are discarding cards at random, and I think they did an odd or even situation. And good news for Decandios everywhere. 2 Amber Steels. 2 Amber Steels made it into the top 16. Both of them converted. Amber Steel, be excited. I can't pause, okay? Jebas is working, okay? I need you to know I'm not not letting Jebas talk. He's just busy.
I'm making sure that she's able to get all of her thoughts out.
No,
together.
it makes me sound terrible. Like, because
Right, no.
people are gonna be like, you know how Katie?
No, I'm trying to figure out a bracket, and I don't have all the stuff that I would use to normally do this at home, so I'm just kind of winging it, and it's a lot less ideal than what I would like, but I want to be able to make it so we can actually talk about
Kaylee's
it.
husband, 69, is really upset. Okay, Kaylee's husband.
I get it. I mean, I understand. I'm awesome.
Yeah.
And you are also awesome, so it's like hard because you want both at the same time, but it's hard for us to both talk at the same time.
Oh,
so like,
okay. Oh, Kitty, pause. Pause because of them controlling each other. Well, it's a Ratatouille. I said it's like a Ratatouille situation. It's like, I had a cockroach in my hotel room and he's ratatouilleing me. I took the roach and I put him on my head and he's been casting this whole time. Anybody can
is that
cast.
what it was?
Anybody can cast.
That's true.
And that's me. It's actually the little roach on my head.
Yeah.
Ramil. Here we go. We're going to game 3, everybody. Will Kolpos go ahead? He was on, as we see, he was the 13th seed. Ivan was the 4th, which means Ivan was playing here. Ivan's slow roll well, here's the thing. Ivan knows his deck has, there's a roach in my hotel. It was really scary, Mom. My mom's in the chat. I like when she pops in. I'm like, hi, Mom. But here we go. So for those playing along at home, you might say, Katie, what does the top 8 look like? Well, we don't know. There might be one more blurple, might be one less.
I know what most of the top 8 is going to look like.
Yes, and tell him. He's here. He just he just sat back a little bit, which I think means he's about to tell us.
So this is what we got for what's coming up here. So we're going to have Amber Steel versus Amethyst Steel.
You hate to see it.
We're going to have Blurple versus whatever wins this matchup.
Okay, and that's Humble on Blurple.
That's Humble on Blurple. We're going to have 2 Amethyst Steels.
An Amethyst Steel mirror, because we had 3 Amethyst Steel mirror make the top 8.
And then we're going to have an Emerald Sapphire, so one at the very least made it through versus a Blurple.
Yeah, and shout out to Atlanta native, Jeremy.
So as we look, we know that there were a lot of Blurples. Not a lot of them are making it through here so far. I mean, based on the numbers, it's not looking good for Blurple, honestly. Moving into our next sort of top 8 round here, with the amount of Blurple that we had, they just ran into a lot of mirrors, right? We got a Blurple mirror here, Blurple mirror here. And the ones where they fought against the various steel decks, they didn't necessarily make it through.
I think it's fun to cast because it seems low pressure. I need you to know the amount of people who have been like, you're stupid, has been really high. It's a lot of pressure.
Oh, I mean, this part, the chat, that's low pressure. The pressure is on like doing all the other stuff and making it seem like it's low pressure.
Yeah, my goal is to make you think that I'm laying on a couch right now talking while I watch Lorcana. That is my biggest goal. But I need you to know, I am like, my eyes, I don't blink. I'm like, if I miss something, people will be like, you missed this. I'm like, I'm so sorry. So I will say to Sky Doll NOA, Sky Doi Noah, could be like a Spanish double L. I'm interested to know if you saw the whale shark. I saw a whale shark but I did not see the whole shark because he took the day off and he was swimming in a way where you could not see him. You could only see his little tail every like 30 minutes. And I said, get out.
Unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. But you know what's not unfortunate? The fact that, guess what? Blurple is big, bad, but it's not going to make us big, sad, guys.
It is on the play.
Well, no, it might make us big,
Here.
sad here. But I'm
It's
saying,
just
like,
in general, yeah, it is beatable.
It is beatable, guys. I want you to know you can go under it. You can go through it. We're seeing somebody go through it. We've seen people go under it. Well, we haven't seen it yet.
You know, we don't have a full meta breakdown, and we may not right away. Obviously, it's still paper deckless.
Paper 450 plus paper deckless, unfortunately.
That being said, like, we don't know. Maybe there were, out of the 450 players, what if 200 of them were on Blurple? Then the conversion rate is really not that incredible.
It's just throwing Blurple at the wall.
It's just like quantity over quality. I mean, that was
statistically one Blurple must. That
was the Ruby Amethyst for forever. You know, you'd go into an event because it was so inexpensive because most of it was just pre-con, the foxes and the mims. You would see that it took more than half of all the top 8 spots constantly, but that was because so many of it was in the room. Like, yeah, if 10-12% of it converts, that's like the whole top 8. So
yeah, and that's when we talk about how, hey, we have to be very mindful about statistics. It's not fun, but if you only have a tournament, there's 200 people, and in the top 10 or top 8, you see 2 Amber Steels, but only 2 Amber Steels showed up that day. Amber Steel's a really good deck.
Yeah, then it looks great, right? But if you have a room that's almost every player is on a specific deck, and you know, then some of them make it to the cut, like I'm shocked that that's what happened, you know.
So we can't post a deck list yet, but if you guys have any questions about the deck list, we do have all 16 in front of us right now, including the 8 that you will see in the top 10. So if you have any specific questions about the decks that we have, like we mentioned, we have 7 Amethyst Sapphires, we have 4 Emerald Sapphires, we have 3 Amethyst Steels, and we have 2 Amber Steels. So if you're saying, Katie, I must know if there's Pluto in those Amethyst Steel lists, you can ask me. I'll tell you. I'll do it. I'm really nice. But here we go. We've got the Basil, what Liam is calling a must include for anybody building this deck. And I do agree for the mirror and for other reasons. He's quite good at making sure that you can make short work. Support is a mechanic we haven't seen in a lot of metas, but it's kind of a little fun here.
It's hard to get support into your decks, right?
It's not the greatest mechanic, but it's nice when it works.
But when it's good, I mean, support is a very powerful mechanic. It just is tricky when previously we had so much removal, especially removal that dealt with readied characters, you know, things that took care of the whole board. We had Be Prepared, we had Sisu. It makes playing characters like, you know, various support things that may have been okay if you were able to actually leverage the support a lot less valuable because we just didn't have characters that would stick around on the board. Now, because Basil being a 1-drop can come down, get you up to your next breakpoint. Like, support is, like DeCandio was mentioning here, a very good mechanic. It's one of my favorite limited mechanics, I think, in all of Lorcana.
It's a very augmentive.
Because it takes the numbers that are on your characters and it allows you to shift them around. You can take your strength, share it with something else. You're still able to advance the board, and then allow some of your characters to trade up, meet better breakpoints. Like, any time that support can be in your deck and good, it's awesome. And we're seeing it here a little bit. We saw some Ana this weekend, the hybrid Ana, which is just very, very powerful when it's working. And that's another character with support. I mean, the more that I think that this mechanic bleeds into decks, the more you're going to see these impressive breakpoints take over.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see people use it. Yeah, support is gas. Letting your Elsa crack an opposing.
Like we saw a little bit of this weekend, which was really good. You know, even some of this, the cheaper cost Ana.
Yes.
And it just gives you, this one gives you the same effect sort of as the Basil, just letting you meet those breakpoints. But this one being the 3 support, in addition to drawing cards, like everything about it was just very, very good. But because there's no like generic board wipe, and there's a lot more individual character combat, you know, we're challenging more, we're getting damage onto characters through just normal means, then it makes the support a lot more powerful. You know, I wish we had a little bit more ability to either exert characters or challenge ready characters so that the safety of just not doing anything with your character is a little bit less. But we'll get there. I
We'll
think.
get there. Yeah, guys, don't panic. Now, I do have a couple of questions here. We have one of my favorite mechanics, support. Yeah, we were just talking about support. We got so excited talking about support. And look at this board. Look at this board with support. It feels supported. Ivan says, you know what? I feel supported right now because the magical dream curve here is you're doing turn 1 Basil in a mirror. It's not always a dream curve for everyone. But if you would do Basil, then you do Tipo. Turn 4, you're doing Genie, or no, sorry, turn 3 you're doing Genie, turn 4 you're doing Elsa, and then turn 5, you know what? Let's do some Veil Accomplished Mystic. Let's just throw some damage over here. So there's a lot of fun things you can do, and then turn 6, why not some Dumbo as a treat? By then you've got Evasive, so we're seeing a great curve here. Ivan is saying, I want to show you all my favorite cards.
I don't necessarily think that with this board state that this just says that Blorple has won in this spot.
No, because we know Kolpos has some spooky stuff he can do.
Emerald has some really splashy cards that it can play once it gets to 6, 7, 8. A single Under the Sea, and it cleans everything up here. John Silver makes it so that we have the ability to give Reckless, which slows down the questing a little bit.
Yeah.
And then now, all of a sudden, like next turn, we can Hades, we can Basil, leading into an Under the Sea, and all of a sudden the board is clear. The game's not over. The Blurple decks do not quest very quickly.
No.
Let's make this abundantly clear. They don't have any reach, and they do not quest very fast. So we're at 6. It's not like we're living in the world where there's GOAT and where there's
the bursting
all
is
of
harder.
that sort of like lore bursty cards. They just aren't real.
They can't hurt you.
They're not real. They can't hurt you. You know, there are a few decks that I would consider to be the lore burst, full leaning into that sort of strategy because the cards do still exist. All of these pictures are already up on our
They are?
thing.
Okay, dang it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, here's the thing. Why?
They're in Discord.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, sorry. He's watching me. He's like, why work harder? I was like, listen, I want to work harder and dumber.
I'll see if I can at least get the top 8 decks into Dreamborn quickly.
I imagine someone's working out there because we're taking a spectacularally long time on this round. So I imagine if I'm not out there and Saucekay's not working full time, I do see TTG. If that's him, Saucekay, please, we need you to help. Just kidding. You can have fun. I'm hungry. If anyone hears me, a sandwich would be nice.
We'll summon something.
Oh, thank goodness. That's my favorite summoning. I get summoning sickness if I don't summon a sandwich. So here we go. We've got this wide board, and there's a song that you might hear. You might hear, listen,
Like there is a Hades in hand. There is an Under the Sea in hand. Like it is not. This game is absolutely not over.
Yeah, because I mean, we want to do heads held high with Under the Sea, but guess what? Even if we don't, we could still take care of Elsa, Basil, Tipo, which is 50% of the board right now. Now, if we do,
Get a Hades Dumbo and then just sweep the rest of the stuff next turn.
So it's Ivan needs to keep drawing cards, and you might notice he has 2. So he has not been able to do a lot, and he needs. I mean, if I was Kolpos, I'd be very, very interested in prioritizing cleaning up this board a bit because if he sings second star to the right or something like that, he can get in this game in a big, big way. So if I was Kolpos, I would want to be punishing with 2 Under the Seas. It's not so bad. And he has an Under the Sea, which
Our hand is uninkable.
Yeah, he has Bend to My Will, which is hilarious.
That is a good point.
Right now,
we are unfortunately stuck at 6, which is a disaster.
Oh, it's like it's bad. Listen, guys, listen. I told you I'm trying to look at everything at once. I'm not blinking. I blinked. It happened. So it's a disaster. But it's 1 turn away from being successful. Okay. Okay. I'm like this. So this is such a good point. So Bella Calic, this is something I said earlier. You can put Bend in My Will. It's a tech card that you are gambling high on. If that sits in your hand, it sits there heavy. The only thing that can get rid of it is Tipo, and otherwise it is just sitting there. And that's why Zan Syed and Jeremy, we asked, "Are you playing Bend in My Will?" He said no.
When these lists had access to like Hidden Inkcaster,
Yes,
I think that helped a lot.
But
Not only because it was, it replaced itself, but it also could smooth some of these like more awkward middle turns where a lot of your big bomby cards are uninkable.
Now, I will say it is also devastating that he just lost that John Silver because that John Silver could sing Heads Held High, which would be spectacular. We said he doesn't need to have a Heads Held High and Under the Sea double. But without inking that last turn, he's at 6 or is that 7? 7. So he could technically Under the Sea sing with John Silver, who is an excellent singer and can sing whatever the song Heads Held High is.
Yeah, I think did we have 7? No, we only had 6. That's the problem.
Oh no!
Otherwise, we could have Hades last turn. We only had 6 basically the whole time, and then we just get quested out.
And he
so.
did something that I love to say. Hey, if you don't want to ask somebody who won a game, there's one way you can tell. And if you step back and you see who checks the next card, if they start looking at the top 4 or 5 cards of their deck, they didn't win. I don't know how to tell you that, but if they're doing that, it's because something terrible has happened. So that is my favorite tell, because we saw Kolpos do that, because he says, I know I put some cards in here that were inkable. I'm pretty sure I put a sizable amount. So Blurple Doomsdayer, I hate to tell you this, but you just got another Blurple in your top 8.
We'll see you just in a few minutes, and then we'll go on a bit of a break, and then we'll be back for the top 8.
We will.